Hey, happy Thursday night. Happy night before Friday. And no, I don't have a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday job, but my wife does, and I'm always happy to get her home for the weekend, especially since Darren, we were just talking about you. I'm going to come back to that in a second. Especially because she gets 3 day weekends, three weeks out of the month. So they go longer, obviously days that they have to make up the time, but it's cool, and I'm amazed that they actually did it. So so yeah, welcome to Thursday Night Live. If you're watching now or later and it's your first time to watch, the Sunday podcast is the main podcast, just a friendly horror podcast, but on Thursday nights I just get on for a little while late at night and ramble, which is what I'm doing now. So hey, Marianne, Brian, Alan, Darren, Kim, everyone watching. Excuse me. Um, Darren, we were just talking about you because I did send you an email too. An hour or two ago, we finally got to around to recording a Patreon podcast on pulp writers. So I'm going to have that on the Patreon in the next couple of days for everyone who's a patron. And thank you for the suggestion. What's the matter, Jupiter? Jupiter's squeaking at me. It's all right. You can't go out at night. Sorry. He's not happy with me right now. He thinks he should be able to go out at night. You're a little cat. Those possums would eat you. So, anyway, yes, and thanks for bearing with me um, taking, so long to get this done. Um, I really wish I really wish that Rick was still with us. He was the real expert. Um, but I say that, and I had three great experts on earlier tonight. I'm so far away from being an expert on pulp writers, it's not even funny. But I had Matt on, had Alan on, had Pete on, and they had some, I think you'll enjoy it. They had some great things to say. So I managed to look wise and smile and nod in the right places. So Alan's watching now. Thanks for doing that, Alan. And then, okay, what do I want to talk about? Okay, a couple things. First of all, if you're not aware of the mailing list, you can go in the show notes of this podcast or really any of them. And I should change it from stay in the loop to uh, mailing list. Basically, just look for stay on the loop. It's not very far down, and you can join the mailing list. That's the real way that I keep everybody informed as far as the podcast. Like you'll get a reminder on Tuesday, you get a reminder on Thursday, and you'll get a reminder on Sunday. And you won't get any more email than that. And you'll also be told when I have to reschedule something. So don't worry, no spam. You can cancel anytime, but the mailing list is a good thing to be on. And then the other thing is, if you don't want to be on the mailing list, or if you want to cover your bases and do both, if you're not aware of the Facebook chat, Lovecraft Easing Podcast Facebook chat, it's a quiet chat, but it serves the same purpose. So email me, lovecrafteasing@gmail.com, if you want to get on that. And we're probably friends on Facebook, but if we're not, I'll friend you and I'll add you if you want to be added. So so anyway, how are you guys doing? hope everyone's doing all right. It was really cold here for Texas, uh, for almost a week, but now it's warmed up a bit. And I'm a winter person. I'm an autumn person, but it's nice. It's nice to be able to walk out there and sit on the deck. So, and not freeze to death. So, all right, I have some cool things to show you. Turn the light up a little bit here. All right, one of my patrons, Donna, she's not the only one, by the way. My patrons are so generous. Thank you. Um, Not just for being patrons, but in the past several years, just so many send me nice things, and I appreciate it. So you may remember a little video about the the chimes I have outside my office now. Those are from Donna, and she just sent me these kind of meditation chimes, and I really love the sound that these make. And I'll tell you what I want to do. I want to put it right. I gotta find like basically here. You can't see it, but where I could just you know hit it with my finger every now and again. But I'm afraid that Monty and Jupiter would have a heyday with it and destroy it. Yeah, thanks, Kim. It is lovely. Donna's got great taste, and she and her husband are just have been really kind to me. Um, anyway, here's another thing she sent me. All right, now, if you're watching live in the side chat, there's nothing on the back. If you're watching live now in the side chat, tell me, what is this from? Little little quiz for you. Tell me what's that from? What is that from? All right, I'll wait a second in case nobody knows, then I'll tell you. And then you guys know how much I love the movie The Fog. She sent me this also. It's hilarious. I love it. So frame that, find a spot for that in the bookhouse here. And same for the chimes. Well, I'm not going to frame the chimes, but you know what I mean. And then she sent me a bunch of fun cat stuff for the cats. And they just some catnip and some cat relaxation stuff and some treats, things like that. So thank you, Donna, if you're watching now or later. This is from uh, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. So it is really cool, and I love the fact that it doesn't say Halloween 3 on this, you know. So so yeah, if you do a Google image search for Halloween 3, I'm sure one of the images will come up. I thought I was right when I saw it, but I used Google to double check. So yep, there we go. Thank you, Donna. That was just a blast. All right. Um, I watched. Yeah, I did say that, Darren, and it's actually. I think it's close by. Hang on. There you. Oh, there you are. There you are. There you are, Fog. There it is. And Dennis Etchinson wrote it, and he was a very talented writer. And of course, there's scenes and so forth that are not in the movie, and yeah, it's a great read. The especially if you're a big fan of the movie like I am. Uh, Speaking of kind people and the fog, obviously you can't see it, but over there I've got a framed um, poster of the fog, thanks to Mike DeBronzo. Uh, There's several things in here from Alan, not least of which is well, I don't know if anyone besides Alan and I are DC comic fans on here, so I won't bore you with the backstory, but it's Batman and Green Arrow and the Question, three non-powered superheroes in the DC universe. So I watched for the first time in decades the other day. I watched Starman. You guys remember that movie from the when did it come out? 1983 or 1984, something like that. And I remember liking it decades ago a lot, and I watched it again the other day, and it really, yeah, Jeff Bridges, it really holds up. I mean, obviously it's set in the 80s, but man, what a great movie. And it could have been cheesy if it wasn't for the stellar acting from Jeff Bridges and from Karen Allen in the film. I remember the series when I was a kid. I saw a little bit of it somewhere, but we didn't have a TV. But they used it. My understanding is they used a different actor, and the premise was that the alien and had returned to Earth, and he and Karen Allen's son were looking for her. So I don't know how it ended. I should look that up. And I don't know if I if my if I consider it canon in my head canon. I guess I'd have to see the episodes. So it starred that guy from Airplane, didn't it? I think it did. I'm gonna have to show it to Danielle. It's a tearjerker. I say that respectfully. It's a damn good movie. So, um, weird, weird. I was not prepared for. I mean, 2025 is really throwing out all the stops, isn't it? I don't really pay too much attention to the news, but somebody on Facebook, um, I saw a post about this, and Gene Hackman died, and he's 95, so that's to be expected. But here's a headline from NBC News. Gene Hackman and wife were, quote, deceased for quite a while before the bodies were discovered. Deaths are called suspicious. And what happened was, well, I'll just read the first couple of paragraphs. Gene Hackman and his wife had been dead for quite a while before their bodies were found in separate rooms of their New Mexico home, authorities said Thursday. Hackman, 95, and Betsy Arakawa, 65, were found at their Santa Fe home Wednesday along with their dog. The dog is dead too. Um, no signs of external trauma. And I don't see it here, but another news report said that there were pills thrown around, and yeah, I don't know. It's just so weird, isn't it? It's weird and sad, and um, he's my favorite Lex Luthor, and there have been some really good ones. Um, yeah, I won't. Yeah, scattered pills found near the body of Gene Hackman's wife as inquiry continues. But all I can say is, man, 2025 is like saying to 2024, hold my beer. I have a story about Gene Hackman. not a personal story because I never met him, but uh, years ago I was watching, rewatching for the millionth time, Superman the movie, but I put on the commentary track. Yeah, you're not wrong, Kim. I put on the commentary track, and it's the it was Richard Donner, the director of the film, and Tom Mankiewicz. I think I'm saying his name right. The creative consultant. Between the two of them, they really saved the film because not a word from Mario Puzo's script was used. Tom Mankiewicz came in there, and he's the guy that's responsible for what the Fortress of Solitude looks like, and just a bunch of stuff um for the S symbol to actually be a Kryptonian crest, and other Kryptonians having a different quest on their chest. Anyway, it's only interesting if you're a Superman freak. But on the commentary track, this will interest everybody. On the commentary track, Richard Donner told a story about how Gene Hackman just refused to shave his mustache off. He was like, Lex Luthor can have a mustache. And Richard Donner says to him, "Okay, if I shave my mustache off, will you shave yours off?" And this has been several years, so I'm just going on memory, but this is close enough. And Hackman finally said, "All right." So Hackman comes in with a shaved face and sees Richard Donner, and he said, Richard Donner still has the mustache on." And he said, "I thought you said you were going to shave yours too." And Richard Donner goes, "Oh, yeah, right." And goes, peels off the fake mustache. Hackman thought it was real, but it was just from the, from the whatever department gives out fake mustaches on movies. So it's pretty funny. Um, I don't know. I really liked him. He's legendary. So many great movies over the decades, you know. So I mean, 95 is a long life, but it's just the the way that they went. I don't know. We'll see what the investigation reveals, right? So, all right. Speaking of Alan Hughes, oh yeah, Michelle Trachtenberg's death. Yeah. Hey Jeff. Yeah, that's a good one. In fact, it's funny that you say that, Jeff, because I've got a little list of movies in my notes to either watch or rewatch, so I don't forget. And I put the conversation on there tonight because I haven't seen it in a really long time. And anyway, Alan and I are starting horror gaming on this YouTube channel that you're watching right now. And my son Logan is gonna help us as well. So I'm gonna be doing this with Alan too, but here's an example. So the first one is, and if you came to the YouTube channel, you see the video up at the pending videos or whatever it's called. Sorry. And on Saturday at noon, 2 days from now, at noon Central Time, which would be, it converts on YouTube, but it would be 1 p.m. Eastern and 10 a.m. Um, Pacific. And we're going to play a game called No One Lives Under the Lighthouse, which I know Alan has played, told me he liked it, and it looks really great. We wanted to play The Last Door, Alan, but luckily, Logan and I both have Linux, and luckily, Logan tried to run it on Linux, and don't ask me why. I would think a game like that could work, but it didn't. But No One Lives Under the Lighthouse does. So Anyway, yeah, I would love to replay. It's been a decade, so I remember almost nothing. I would love to play The Last Door with Alan. I'll ask. I mean, I don't know if you have Windows or Linux, Alan. If you got Windows, then we can do it. So, but yes, The Last Door is a really, really neat game. Kim says the second season is even better than the first. That is great to know, because what I do remember of the first one is it's terrific and atmospheric and gothic. So yeah, I can't wait to play it again. So Logan is happy about this because he can now roast me for the benefit of the Lovecraft Easing viewers and not just at home. So yeah, Alan, do you have Windows or Linux or something else? Anyway, that's okay. Great, we can play The Last Door. Kim, you can watch us play The Last Door and tell us when we're doing everything wrong. Actually, with Alan and Logan, both are um, much better gamers than me. So anyway, you can look forward to that, and um, yeah, that'll be on Saturday, and then I'll keep you posted um, as to the next time. We'll play for an hour or two. Okay, we'll look in the closet, Kim. So yeah, okay, talked about gaming. There is a story, horror story called. Let me get this right. It is called The Quiet Boy, a short horror story by a writer by the name of Nick Antosca. Jeff probably knows who that is, but I don't. And it's free to read online. I'm going to put it in the live chat here. There you go. If you want to read it later. And should have been better prepared, but I know there was free audio somewhere. And it was really great. It was a great listen. And they made a movie from this that I looked forward to for the longest time. I don't know if you remember, Alan. Might have been a little bit for your time, or maybe you were just watching then. But uh, the movie is called Antlers. Yeah, and don't watch it unless you find it for free on Tubi or something. So it does not do the story justice. So anyway, check that out, guys. I think you'll like the story. Yeah, Antlers is not good. It's not good. All right, I want to know. Here's what I want to know. I want to know from you guys who are watching live. What is your? I don't think I asked this last time. Yeah, I did because I asked Kelly, but I want to know what you guys have to say. And if I'm repeating myself, just remember I'm old. I have 1 foot in the grave, and all that stuff. So, what is your comfort movie or movies? If you have a couple movies or just one movie that's a real comfort movie for you. Um, I have several. Superman the movie, Superman 2, trying to think. Roxanne, I mentioned that last time. Fletch. I love Fletch. I love Fletch a lot. Um, I like John Hamm, but he just, I've got Fletch as Chevy Chase in my mind, and I couldn't make it work when I tried to watch the new Fletch movie. So yeah, let me know what your comfort movies are. And if you're not watching live, or if you don't want to say right now, just write it in the comments. So that always helps the YouTube algorithm, I'm told. So there was a story I saw today about, maybe you guys know about this, but it was on the news. I only saw a little bit of it because two of these girls are getting out of jail, or one is out of jail and the other one's about to. And I'm talking about the Slender Man stabbing. But going back, Marianne says, Superstar, The Jerk, Down Periscope, all comedies from childhood. You know what? I have not seen any of those. Yeah, I'm ashamed to say that I've not seen The Jerk, which I know it's starring Steve Martin. Um, I don't know what Superstar is. But anyway, now I'm reading from Wikipedia. I was just like, Slender Man is such a cool internet urban legend, and it actually inspired these 12-year-old girls to kill three 12-year-old girls, and two of them stabbed the other as a sacrifice for Slender Man. I mean, what? On May 31st, 2014, in Wisconsin, uh, two 12-year-old girls lured their friend into a wooded area of a local park and stabbed her 19 times to appease the fictional supernatural character Slender Man. Afterwards, the girl dragged herself to a nearby road where she was found by a cyclist who called emergency services, who operated for 6 hours to repair critical trauma to arteries and tissue in her torso and abdomen. Uh, wow. And I guess those two girls are getting out of jail. Um, and the whole thing was, should these girls be allowed to get out of jail already, and so forth. And I don't have the answers, but it was just so, so weird. Um, yeah. Anyway, I read that off Wikipedia, and it's adjacent to what all of us are interested in, and just, you know. Alan says, now that I've depressed everyone, Alan says, "Dead men don't wear plaid." Yeah, I love that movie. Cleaning woman. Haven't seen that in a long time either. And Kim says, horror comedy light movies I enjoy: Strigoi, Son of Dracula, Dracula's Daughter. I'm sensing a theme, Kim. Practical Magic, Rockula, and Let the Wrong One In. That's a comedy? I mean, that's a spoof on Let the Right One In, I guess. I haven't seen it. Oh, okay, good. But yeah, it must be good if it's your comfort movie. Tedman don't wear plaid. I haven't thought about that movie in a long time. Oh, Brian. Yes. Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah. Molly Tanzer just loves the hell out of that movie. I mean, we all do, but um, I also rewatched Watchmen the other day because Alan clued me into um, the Watchmen annotated Kindle version is just a couple bucks. So I've been looking at that, rewatched the movie. I got to nail down the date, but that uh, that guy, his name is Leslie Klinger. He annotated Dracula, Kim, the annotated Dracula, Frankenstein, Sherlock Holmes, two big volumes of annotated Lovecraft books, one of which is on my wish list um, on Amazon, and and Watchmen, and probably more that I'm not remembering. So, you know, I know many watching will disagree with me, but I do really love the Zack Snyder trilogy: Man of Steel, Dawn of Justice, or Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, extended version, of course, because it makes sense. The one that's not extended doesn't. And then Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I love those. And Batman v Superman is pretty close to the movie I've wanted to see all of my life. But I gotta say that I don't know if there's a better superhero adaptation out there than Watchmen. It's just fantastic. It even improves on the text on the original in a way that I probably shouldn't mention unless you've already seen Watchmen. So, yeah, I don't know how many times I've watched Watchmen, but there will be many more times before I pass away that I watch it. Okay, Princess Bride, yes. Um, Everyone should watch Princess Bride at least once in their life. Yeah, oh, thanks, Jeff. I'm vindicated. Lowe's Watchmen. Um, yeah, and the character of Dr. Manhattan, just nailed it just right for someone who is just no longer part of humanity, you know. And anyway, I guess I've bored you for long enough about that. But Jeff, you got a couple of books coming out very soon, don't you? You, you should write those in the side chat. For those of you listening who have not read Jeff Thomas, you should do that. Jeff is the creator of Punktown. Look that up, and hopefully someday I will be seeing that on an Amazon uh, miniseries or something similar. If you're not, if you're not a Patreon, and many of you watching are, and I thank you. Um, I could really use the support, even if it's just the $5 a month, and I guarantee you, get so much more bang for your buck with all of the Patreon podcasts and so forth. Yeah. The link is in the show notes, or you can just Google Lovecraft using Patreon. I don't want to sound like a used car salesman, but every time somebody joins, not only do I know there's just there's a little bit more income for the Davis family, but also it's just emotionally uh, it's great. I really appreciate it. So um, well, I'm going to keep the details vague, but I have a little rant. And yesterday afternoon, my wife texts me that they're in this whole school's in lockdown because nobody knows what. I mean, nobody, not the principal either, I guess. So the policy is that the teachers lock the classroom doors with their students in there, each class, and you don't let anybody in because you don't know who it might be or who's being forced to knock on the door. And for about 2 hours there, hour and a half to 2 hours, I was and nothing compared to what Danielle and the kids went through, but I was just shaking like a leaf. I was so worried. This is not the first lockdown situation, but it was pretty serious, I guess. It eventually everyone found out that there's a bingo parlor or bingo place just very, very close, like almost next door, I think. And apparently, there was a person with a gun there for whatever reason. Maybe he thought he should have won at bingo. I don't know. And he also was on the school property, escaped through the school property. And I, the police did a wonderful job in, in my view and in Danielle's view. And they walked the teachers out, after danger had passed and everyone was going home. They walked the teachers out to their cars. They also checked everyone's car to make sure that there was no one in the car. So I really appreciate what they did. But and I'm never going to get political here, but I just want to say my wife is not a cop, and the spouse of a cop, I'm sure worries every time they go to work. Is something going to happen tonight? But Danielle's a teacher. It shouldn't be that kind of potential danger. It's just not right. No matter what your political affiliation is or what you believe about guns and so forth. I'm not talking about any of that. I don't pretend to know the solutions, but I know this isn't right. This is just, we're getting too used to this. And I don't want anything to happen to my wife and any of my friends who are teachers, like Alan and his wife, or the kids who all they did was go to school that day, you know? Alan says we had a lockdown recently, similar situation. Suspect fled from a traffic stop onto school property. Yep, that's very similar. So, you know, I don't know. I don't even know what I wanted to say other than, you guys are my friends, and since you're up late, forcing yourself to listen to me, I wanted to get it off my chest, and I feel a little bit better. But I have nothing but the highest respect for teachers, especially good teachers, and that should be the extent. They should just have to worry about teaching, not about stuff like that. So I'm grateful that everything turned out all right for the teachers and the kids, and everyone got home safely. So I looked at the time today at exactly the same time that Danielle texted yesterday, and I just thought today, I thought, man, I'm glad this is a better day, you know. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to be a drama king, Jeff, but yeah, it was hella scary for me, and like I say, that's nothing compared to how Danielle felt and the kids felt, and you know, she was she had to be the one that's being calm for the students and being reassuring and keeping everybody calm. Alan, I'm sure you're familiar. And at the same time, inside, scared herself. So, excuse me. Um, well, I think that's about all I wrote down that I wanted to talk about. I don't want to keep you guys up too late. So those of you who have to get up early in the morning and go to a job, But since Jeff Thomas is too humble to put his books in the side chat, go to Amazon and type in Jeffrey Thomas and buy his books. By the way, uh, Mr. Thomas is also a patron of mine. Alan says, on one of our work days, police came onto our school and fired guns so we would know what it sounds like. Yeah, geez. It just shouldn't be, you know. Oh, you like when I talk about astronomy, Darren? Because I like when I talk about astronomy too. Um, all right. Well, you know, I'll go another 2 or 3 minutes here, and I'll pull up astronomy notes um, in my Obsidian files. Here we go. All right. Actually, I wanted to mention this one anyway. So thank you, Darren. There is a video on YouTube that everybody on the planet should watch, and I don't say that kind of thing often. It's about 30 minutes long, and it's called Time Lapse of the Future, A Journey to the End of Time. And it was made in 2019. And what it does is it starts in 2019, and if memory serves, it it goes from there till the end of time, and it doubles its speed every 5 seconds. So, and I cannot do this video justice. You just have to watch it. It is so well produced and so in line with um, all the scientific evidence that we have so far that we talk about Lovecraftian horror, cosmic horror, we talk about deep time. And there are some great fictional books with that theme, like, for example, Threshold by Caitlin Kiernan is one. If you're into cosmic horror, you should really read that book. Again, that's Threshold by Caitlin Kiernan. Caitlin with a C, and Kiernan is Kiernan, I believe. Yeah, see, Kim agrees with me, so I know I'm right. One of the things that I got from that even I, you know, minor astronomy buff hadn't realized is I knew, of course, that the universe is close to 14 billion years old. I mean, talk about deep time, right? But that is not even that's a hugely small percentage compared to how old it's going to get. You guys hear that train? I just can't do it justice. I'm going to stop rambling about it, but please do yourself a favor and go to YouTube tonight or tomorrow and watch Time Lapse of the Future, A Journey to the End of Time. If anybody finds it while you're watching, if you'd put it in the side chat, that'd be great. But it won't be hard to find. Um, what else do I have here? Some notes on that. And yeah, that's all I have right now on astronomy. But now that I know that you like hearing about that, Darren, you have doomed yourself to hearing about it a lot now. And you've doomed your fellow Thursday night viewers to hear about it. See, I can do it on Thursday nights. On Sundays, those guys are like, okay, we're done talking about this. Move on to the next topic, my panelists. Not Alan, because Alan's too nice, but Pete would. Pete and Matt would. No, they're nice too. But there's no one to tell me to shut up on Thursday nights, right? Thank you for the link Kim. Um, Jeffrey Thomas also says that Threshold is indeed a good one, and it's on Audible also, by the way. Um, Deep Time, that is such a rabbit hole and so interesting to read about. Um, I don't that just touches something in my cosmic horror part of my soul, you know. And again, Time Lapse of the Future, it is absolutely incredible to me how much older the universe is going to get. I mean, we're not talking about we're 10% done. Way less than that. The uh, the other thing, I got many things out of it, but the other thing I'll mention, then I'll stop, that I got out of that video was there is an infinitesimally, did I say that right? Small percentage of time in the life of the universe where light window where human life, not human, excuse me, any kind of life is can exist. So for almost all of the life of the universe, there'll be no one there to see it. It's a very humbling and awe-inspiring video, and it just gives me the sort of awe that you get in really good cosmic horror, you know, where it's kind of half awe and half terror or horror. So, um, thanks to all of you for staying up late with me, and let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know what you thought of The Quiet Boy. I mean, I really appreciate it when I recommend stuff to people if they let me know how they liked it or not. That's fine too. You can either comment below this video or email me. Email's fine. Lovecraftezine@gmail.com. Sometimes it takes me a couple days to get back to people, but I will. I'll get back to you. Lovecraftezine@gmail.com. So everyone have a lovely night, what's left of it, and a wonderful Friday. And I was going to say I'll see you on Sunday, but actually, I will see you on Saturday if you watch Logan and I play a horror game for an hour or two. So, everyone have a good night. And again, thanks for all the support. Good night.